My favourite genre will probably have to be comedy. Just something you don't really have to watch. You can just sit there and go. But I like things that aren't supposed to be funny. Like I'll use the example of Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead,
yeah.
and it was renowned as the first B horror movie. That basically it was hyped as, you know, horrifically violent, and with a film called The Evil Dead you kind of expect it to be something horrific, but the acting's so unbelievably poor, the set design is awful, you've got members of the crew walking across the set which you go, hang on a minute, and it's just so unbelievably terrible it becomes hilarious. And I suppose for me, films that are supposed to be taken seriously but are so awful you can't, I think I would class those as my favourite kind of films, but probably for all the wrong reasons.
Primarily I think I'd have to go for sci-fi and psychological thriller and possibly just a dash of horror, because like they make you think. I like the technology in the sci-fi, and as far as horror goes it always puts you on edge.
What entices me most to go see a film? Not a lot, really. I suppose you had Avatar, which boasted renowned 3D, and that, I was like, because I'd always gone to the IMAX and worn those red, blue 3D glasses.
Yeah.
And I always thought, that's 3D, isn't it? And when they released this Avatar, I was like, you can get more 3D than 3D, and was expecting some kind of like ultra dimension. And then sat through like the first few adverts and just thought, oh,
yeah.
it's a slightly clearer picture. It's like Blu-ray 3D. And so I suppose that had a kind of gimmick that made me and just about everyone else on the planet go see Avatar. But by and large, it's usually cast or the directing or writing talent that makes me want to go watch a film. Who's in it. A nice bit of Christian Bale on screen goes down quite well, if I'm honest. And like The Dark Knight was Christopher Nolan, and it had Heath Ledger in it, and yeah.
And the best performances was the Joker. It's one of the best.
Yeah, without a doubt, he's a phenomenal actor. And so yeah, you had Christopher Nolan, who's made a variety of awesome films, and it's new Christopher Nolan film, yeah, I'll go watch that. Actually, I fell into that trap with Inception. I thought, Christopher Nolan film? Yes, gonna go see that, and watched it and thought, oh, right. Fair enough. Yeah. Apparently I disagree with the rest of the world and thought that film was unbelievably mediocre. But yeah, I suppose that's what makes me go see a film.
I can see what you mean with Inception. I thought the special effects were brilliant, but I
I'll
see what
go
you mean
with that.
about
The cinematography was marvellous, and I suppose the directing itself was great, but I can't help but feel like the writing was just, this is a really good plot. And then his mate said, it's a bit complicated. And Christopher Nolan said, do you know what? You're right. And then took all the sections, put them into a blender, and made a new film out of it. Because it becomes even more incomprehensible, and the bits that are comprehensible are utterly predictable. I just didn't enjoy it myself.
Fair enough.
Also, Shutter Island, the new Martin Scorsese, I say the new Martin Scorsese film, the latest Martin Scorsese film, had Ben Kingsley in it, despite having Leonardo DiCaprio. I thought, yeah, gonna go see that. And that was a surprisingly good film, although it was generally regarded as being awful. But I really enjoyed it.
I loved it. Yeah, I don't know what I loved about it, but I think it was the colours and anything else.
It's so pretty!
No, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know really. I guess the actors have a lot to do with that, because I mean, if I got a favourite actor or an actor I know is good, who's in a film, I'm not, or if an actor I actually know is in a film, I'm more likely to go see it, or take notice in it, with a trailer or whatever. Similarly, if it's a follow-up from another film, I'm more likely to go look at that, because if the first film is good, I'll go see it, and won't be opinion on the follow-up.
My top 5 favourite films, in no particular order, topping the bill has to be, like everyone else, Shawshank Redemption. It's one of those. It's not my favourite. I don't think it's anyone's favourite film, but everyone loves it so much that it can be regarded as the nation's favourite, or even the world's favourite. It's one of those films that makes you feel really, really crap. That you watch this film as this guy who's had a terrible time in prison, been systematically raped, in prison for a crime he didn't commit, and makes friends with Morgan Freeman. But let's face it, who wouldn't make friends with Morgan Freeman? And so it's this film that's really quite dystopian and kind of upsetting. And then right at the end, when you think he's killed himself, he's gone away. And because it's such a miserable film, that's what makes it so great, because you've got this entire film where he's having horrendous things done to him, and you think, shit, it's
fine.
When he's going through this entire film with having horrendous things done to him, and you just think, this is awful. And you feel for the guy because it's so well made. Frank Darabont, I think, directed it.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry, that's completely off topic. But because you really feel for this guy, you empathise with his misery, and it's kind of one of those, oh, this is the harsh truth about American prisons. And then, because it's such a miserable film, when you get to the end and when you're given this beautiful ending, you think, yes, that is amazing.
They're almost not going to put the ending in. You know, the bit with the boat?
Yeah.
They're almost not going to put that in.
No, that seals the film. It kind of wraps all this misery into a nice bow and says, look, it's happy now. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm just a little girl inside, but I like to have a happy ending. I don't like it when they kill off characters.
No, they won't.
Although when Crooks died, that had to be possibly the most moving moment in any film ever.
Yeah, when he's carving
Just
in the name.
Crooks was here, then the silhouette of him. It's
brilliant.
Unbelievably miserable, but really moving. Number 2 on the list of a possible 5 would Pi has to be up there. Pi as in the mathematical number rather than pi. Pi.
That's what I thought when you first said Pi.
No, it's about Pi. It's by Darren Aronofsky, who's probably most famous for Black Swan, that he released, starring Natalie Portman. And this film is ridiculously low budget with actors that you'll never have heard of. But it follows the tale of this mathematician that essentially descends into insanity, and the whole film is shot in black and white, and it's really stylised. Like he also made Requiem for a Dream, which is a more famous film than Pi, but that goes along the same sort of stylised lines in which you get sort of cut scenes of him doing stuff like typing. Not to mention the soundtrack written by Clint Mansell, which has liberal uses of drum and bass, but goes with this kind of high-tempo black and white cinematography. And it just kind of all meshes together to make less a film and more a piece of artwork. And so you're not really watching the film, you're not really a part of it, you're just sitting there observing, thinking, Jesus, this is crazy. But at the same time, it's really interesting. And while the plot is supposedly mathematical, it's not, it's bollocks. But it's a really compelling plot. Like, you've got him descending essentially into insanity and not knowing what's real and what's not knowing if he's completely paranoid because he's so unbelievably clever, or if he is genuinely about to be killed. It's a really interesting film, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
I'm going to take, there's 4 minutes left.
Okay, right, I'll be quick. Oh shit.
Sorry.
3rd film.
I'm going to cut this up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this up into different...
Yeah. What's my 3rd film?
Prestige. No, it wasn't that bad, wasn't it? No, you didn't like Prestige. I don't know.
Die Hard. We'll do Die Hard.
Yeah, do Die Hard.
3rd, as I said in no particular order, has to be Die Hard, starring Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman. It's not a particularly marvellous film. It's not a tremendously well-made film. The acting talent's mediocre at best, and Alan Rickman overacts to the point it becomes silly. But it's just full of whiz-bang, shooty fun and stuff blowing up and people shooting other people and Bruce Willis saying yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
That's in the second one, not the first one, isn't it?
No, he says it in the first one.
Does he say in the first one?
Yeah.
No.
And it's just action left, right and centre, and I just enjoy it so much. It appeals to the primitive part of my brain that likes to see people get shot and go, yeah! So for that reason, one of the top 5. Should I just do Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs for the last two?
2 and 3, or 4 and 5 are Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
Just because it's got 2 minutes left.
My last 2 films have to be from Quentin Tarantino, and they will be Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, both of which are phenomenally well-made films. The cast of Pulp Fiction is unbelievably fantastic. This kind of pastiche of acting talent, and it's just nothing quite compares to it. Particularly Samuel L. Jackson in that role, because he's such an unbelievable badass. Nothing compares to it. And Reservoir Dogs, the scene with Stuck in the Middle with You, where Mr. Blonde does some obscene things to a policeman, has to be one of the best scenes in a film ever. And so yeah, phenomenally well-made films and utterly compelling from start to finish.
Good, thank you.
I think I'd have to go for like the first Back to the Future as my fifth, then Die Hard as like a fourth, Alien as like third, maybe Iron Man second, and The Dark Knight as like my top one there.
Yeah. So yeah, I love Shawshank. That's the top of my list. I know it's at the top of everyone's list, but it's still at the top of my list.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Have you seen it? You should say it's a good film.